A third goal of mine was to nurture my family connections, which for me was an adventure of love. Ministry is not a profession conducive to spending a lot of time with family. So this was an opportunity to strengthen my ties with the people I love most in the world. I spent time with our 4 children and their families in Cleveland, Charlottesville, and Asheville. And I traveled to Florida to visit my 3 siblings and their families. I rediscovered how important family is for me, how they nurture me, challenge me, and sometimes drive me crazy. An event I will never forget took place during the Thanksgiving holiday, which Terry and I spent with my extended family outside of Gainesville, Florida. It was a joy to be with my siblings again. I hadn't spent much time with them lately, but we especially wanted to support our sister-in-law, Lee, who has advanced cancer, knowing that this may be our last chance to see her. The day before our Thanksgiving feast with her family and ours, Lee made a special request. She told us that she wanted to get married. She and my brother Pat have lived together for over 20 years, and so to us they were an old married couple. But she wanted a ceremony, a commitment, and a celebration. And all of us, including Pat, were only too happy to oblige. So in 24 hours, the Lewis and McGee families scrambled around to find flowers, a wedding cake, and a ring. Their dog, Gonzo, made the perfect ring bearer. My niece was thrilled to be the flower girl, and there was no problem finding a minister. So just as the sun was setting over the small lake where they lived, Lee's father escorted her out of the house to the tune of her favorite song, Desperado by the Eagles, with the flower girl spreading rose petals before her. No bride could have been more beautiful. Pat stood beside me with a big grin on his face as Lee slowly made her way with the help of a walker. Smiles and tears were abundant. Halfway through the ceremony, a family of 3 sandhill cranes flew across the lake into the sunset, calling out their blessing on the ceremony. It was absolutely beautiful. Afterwards, 21 of us had a grand Thanksgiving feast, giving thanks for the love in our lives and the precious time we have together. It was a Thanksgiving and a wedding to remember. My 4th goal was to deepen my spirituality. I believe that living a spiritual life is the greatest of all adventures. You can travel around the world, but if you have not journeyed into your deepest self and explored the geography of your soul, you have gone nowhere. The joy for me was to have the time to spend on my spiritual practices and to reflect on my life and on the mystery of life itself. We all need this time to step back from the busyness of life so that we can appreciate the beauty around us and reflect on the spiritual challenges of forgiveness, of grief, of justice, of happiness. From that depth of reflection, we then grow our connections to each other and the world. One of the connections I rediscovered was to nature. This glorious world around me that nurtures my life and enlivens my imagination. In Greece, I sailed the sea and wandered across majestic mountains. On Sanibel Island in southern Florida, I stalked the herons, osprey, and eagles. I followed the tortoises and alligators carefully. And I hiked, biked, and kayaked through the unique landscape of waterways and swamps. In New Zealand, I traveled along a rugged coastline where seals, penguins, and dolphins frolic. And in Arlington, Virginia, I experienced a side of nature that was not so inspirational as I dug out of 2 blizzards. But I do want to thank all of you again for giving me this time to take an adventure of ideas, an adventure of traveling, an adventure of love, and an adventure of the Spirit. In return, I would like to give you the same opportunity to take a sabbatical adventure, not especially to Europe or New Zealand, but to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Arlington. This is an adventure that gives you the opportunity to learn from the greatest teachers in history, to travel to places like New Orleans and Guatemala to help change the world, to open your hearts in compassion and love to those who are closest to you and those on the other side of the world, and to experience a spirituality that will help you find a deeper purpose and meaning in life. May this adventure be in the spirit of these words by Annie Besant. Never forget that life can only be nobly inspired and rightly lived if you take it bravely and gallantly as a splendid adventure in which you are setting out into an unknown country to face many a danger, to meet many a joy, to find many a comrade, to win and lose many a battle. May we take this challenging and joyous adventure together. May it ever be so.